I'm Jack with Ice Performance Tires and Wheels, the Match Mount King, the Tire Professor, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about versatility. Now, versatility and the BBS Unlimited wheel specifically. Why am I standing here with a Chrysler Pacifica? Because as you know or may not know, this is a very versatile vehicle. It's not the coolest vehicle in the world, but it is versatile. You've got stow and go seating. Seats are up, you haul the family around. Seats are down, it's basically a pickup truck. One seat up, back seat down, you're hauling the family and you're doing work, picking up wheels from the repair shop. Now, why would I want to talk about versatility and the BBS Unlimited? Because as of today, I would say it's the most versatile wheel on the market. Now, this vehicle in particular is a tough one to fit aftermarket wheels on. It's got a 5-on-127 bolt pattern, which you may or may not know. It's very common for a Jeep, which means you're gonna have a lot of off-road options. To have a street option like you'd wanna do on this, you don't have a lot of options. Now the BBS Unlimited, using its adapter setup, which is like a spacer and adapter all in one, they're giving you 5-on-100 up to 5-on-130 bolt patterns. That's perfect for this vehicle. Not to mention, to get the fitment perfectly flush and run a squared wheel, which we're doing here, we're actually gonna use two different adapters / spacers to make that happen. If you look down the side of this vehicle, you can see this front fender actually protrudes out a little more than the rear, which means we need to use a thicker offset, or excuse me, adapter to change that offset to a more negative offset than what we need on the rear. So let's show you how that's gonna work. All right, so here we have our actual components to the BBS Unlimited. This is the CIR. As of right now, this is the only style that we have in the Unlimited wheel. This one right here is a 21 by 9.5. This is the diamond black finish. Beautiful finish. I had to go with this color. I absolutely love it. Some people would say it's a bit of a gunmetal or like a hyper black. I would say definitely like a darker hyper black would be the way to describe it. If it's inside, if it's outside, it's got a nice flop to it. It kind of changes colors. So again, we've got a 9.5, so we're running a squared setup. Now, the versatility of the Unlimited is right here. We've got two different adapters. We have the hub rings. You've got one here to make it hub-centric to the vehicle. This one here goes in the back side of the wheel to make it hub-centric to the adapter. So, and on this particular one, I'm running the titanium hardware, and I didn't even realize this until I got them. They actually give you a titanium wheel lock key or socket, whichever way you want to look at it, that goes to the bolt. So that's a bonus right there. I had no idea. Anyway, so in the industry, the aftermarket wheel and tire industry, you've kind of got like a Ford versus Chevy split, right? Some guys say adapters, spacers, don't do them. They're no good. I've been doing it a long time. I can tell you this with confidence. Any spacer, any adapter that's done proper, there should never be a problem. I've been doing this since 1999. I've really been working a lot with spacers since probably about 2005. And I can say with confidence, I've had zero problems, because if you know what you're doing and you're using quality products, there should never be an issue. So I really want to stress that a lot, because I know with the Unlimited, you're going to get guys who are going to want to fight you, whether it be a shop or an end user, that, oh, they use adapters, they use spacers, I don't want to do that, those are bad. I'm here to tell you, with confidence, there's nothing wrong with this. And actually, I want to explain the benefits of this. That's why we're doing this video right now, because we have two different size adapters here. We've got a 26 millimeter and a 17 millimeter. We have a 9 millimeter difference to get our fitment as flush as possible. The front runs the 26, the rear runs the 17. Again, we have a squared wheel with a staggered offset. If you were going to do this without these adapters, you would have to run either an aftermarket spacer adapter, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but here they've integrated everything for you. You can use this with confidence. Or you have to use a forged custom built wheel where you have a 9.5, but then they stagger the offset. Now the downside of that is, if you ever want to rotate your tires, you have to dismount the tires and move them to the other wheel because your wheel is essentially a positional wheel, meaning front or back only. Not the case here. Once these are bolted onto your car, you can move this wheel at any position of the vehicle whenever you want. You never have to unbolt these. You just move these around like you normally would. Essentially, this is going to be part of the vehicle. And that's the benefit, that's the versatility of the BBS Unlimited wheel system. All right, now I want to talk to you guys about the balancing aspect of the Unlimited. Because BBS uses a 5-on-117 bolt pattern, which to my knowledge, there are no vehicles out there using a 5-on-117 bolt pattern, you're gonna run into an issue when it comes to balancing. Now, some of you are using a pressure cup, which even having the guard on here, the rubber protection, you don't want that on the face of the wheel. I don't recommend it. It still can leave marks. It's not the most precise way to do it. If you're using a fixed finger plate, you're not gonna have 5-on-117 on there because again, to my knowledge, there are no vehicles using 5-on-117. So I reached out to the folks at MTRSR. They have the speed plate. It's adjustable. This means it doesn't matter what the bolt pattern is, as long as it falls within the parameter of the reach, you can use it on any 5-lug bolt pattern. They do also offer a 4-lug and a 6-lug or 4/8 lug as well. So what you want to do here is get it a little bit close, kind of figure out where it's going to be, put it in there, give it a couple little turns, and voila. Now you can safely and effectively balance your BBS Unlimited with precision, not having to worry about scratching the finish whatsoever, and having it centered to your balancer the proper way. I'm gonna put a link and a promo code for the speed plate through MTRSR so you guys can get a discount if you would like to order these. Now, it's gonna work great on your Unlimited. It's gonna work great on everything else as well. I highly recommend using the speed plate on not only your Unlimited wheels, but anything else you're balancing. All right, so OEM wheels are off the car. We've cleaned and lubed the hub with anti-seize, which some guys don't do. I feel like it's very important to do that because you never want your wheel and tire assembly to be frozen to the vehicle. Out here, where I'm at in Arizona, not a huge problem. Where you're at, that might be a big problem. So, whether you're using a spacer adapter, a hub ring, or just the wheel itself, I always do recommend to clean and lube your hubs. I use anti-seize to do so. Here we have our 26mm adapter slash spacer. We're gonna bolt this up. We've got lugs. It's a 3/4 head lug that's gonna hold the adapter onto the vehicle. Now, I personally recommend to do about 3 turns to make sure they're on there. You're not gonna cross thread. I've got my gun here. It's got, 3 different settings. I like to go to the lowest setting on this one because even the second setting seems to be a little too powerful for a 12mm lug. So I just wanna go real light, let it center up. Then I'll hit it again, hold it a couple seconds. Always working in a star pattern. Set the torque wrench. This is a 1215. I'm gonna set it to 90 foot-pounds. And again, doing a star pattern here. I do 1 star and then I'm gonna go around and do 2 circular patterns to double check, make sure that it's snug, there's no movement. Because if you're getting movement, you need to make sure that there's no centering issues, there's no obstructions. By the time you do that first circle, there should be no more movement. You do the second one, there really should be no movement at all. If you're getting movement still after doing that second circle, you'd want to pull everything off and inspect it, make sure that there's no obstructions, that your hub ring isn't in crooked, you know, because at that point there's something causing an issue. So this one's torqued, this one's good to go. Now that we have our adapter installed properly to the vehicle, we have our other hub rings, or hub ring here, that goes into the back of the wheel. So these clips go in the back center bore of the wheel, and then this lip is sticking out, will go into that adapter that's on the vehicle. Now it's important that you put this in to the wheel, not into the adapter first. It needs to go in the wheel first. That's very important. So once the wheel's on, you can tell it's nice and centered and flush. You want to take your lug bolts. Now, every single vehicle that's using an unlimited setup is going to be using a lug bolt. Whether the vehicle is a stud car or lug bolt car, doesn't matter. They're all using these. So you have titanium option like we have here. There's a black option and a kind of a silver zinc option as well. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put them into the socket and I'm gonna screw them in here, and I'm gonna do these by hand because I always do titanium by hand. I screw them all the way in before I torque them. Now that those are on, I can reset my torque wrench to 100 foot-pounds. That's a 14.15 bolt. So I'm gonna go 100 foot-pounds on these to torque the wheel to the adapter. Now again, I'll do a circle in the air. Now, once all four are on the car, I will drive the vehicle around, maybe 10-15 minutes, bring it back and do one final torque spec on the vehicle to make sure that there's no movement, there's no change, and everything is done proper to make it safe for whether it's your vehicle or your client's vehicle. All right, folks, and that's how easy the adapter spacer setup is to install. As you can see, it's very simple. There's nothing to be afraid of at all. I hope that might answer some of your questions and solve some of these dilemmas that people have had with spacers and adapters over the years. There's nothing wrong with them, absolutely nothing. And like I said, as you'll see here, as we pan over and show you the fitment now, the after, they are 100% versatile. They're 100% user-friendly. They will allow you to get the fitment that you want, running whether it's a staggered or a squared setup. I'm telling you, this is the future of wheels. BBS nailed it once again.